Hello there. So today is my last day in Paris, and I have no idea. I've been here since last Wednesday. Since Wednesday, now it's Monday, and I obviously had very ambitious plans about what's going to happen here, and I was going to see so many friends and just do so many productive things. And productive things I did, but they weren't really Paris connected. They actually included me sitting here recording videos or writing or reading and things like that, working in general, but not, it can be done anywhere. So, so I have kind of, I'm happy. I'm happy with given any occasion just to go down to Paris because I'm staying in the suburb a little bit. It's not dramatic, but it's a little bit further than if you live where the metro is. So obviously to go into town is a little bit more of a decision than just kind of popping out. And I'm just admiring clouds behind the windows. Clouds are amazing, aren't they? It's like every day they are different, and you never know what you're gonna see looking in the sky. It's interesting. I think we take clouds for granted. We shouldn't take clouds for granted. Anyway, so what's this? Ah, these are some important notes. So, my Paris trip wasn't that Parisian, although I did do a quick tour of all my favorite spots, and it just remains one of my favorite places. And I say that a lot because a lot of new places become my new favorites, and I always say that I leave a piece of my heart everywhere, and then I'm doomed to miss all these places, and it feels like home is nowhere and everywhere at the same time. But then there are places like Toulouse, and then I don't miss them at all. So in a way, I feel a bit strange. I guess it's different, having lived here. It never felt like enough time. It always felt like I could have done more. I could have I would say get more out of the city, but it sounds really kind of, it sounds very egoistic. Maybe it is, but you know what I mean. I mean that really, really feeling the place, really spending time in your favorite spots, really sitting down in a park and reading a book, exploring everything that there is to explore. The thing is that a city like Paris, you can just explore all your life, and it's very generous, and it unfolds itself as you spend more time, as you give it more attention, as you walk the streets you haven't walked before. It has this magical quality in it too. To kind of almost, it almost feels like it is created by you walking in the city, taking part in the life of the city, because a city is a living thing for me. It is a creature on its own. So we kind of enter a certain ecosystem, and we become part of it by whatever we decide to do, and whichever street we decide to walk. And now, given Notre Dame, burned down partially, and now the whole, it's very sad. It's still, this whole fire that happened, that really, really moved me, and really, it also happened in a very sad moment already in my life, and and I was just about to feel feel a little better. I was just making an effort to kind of get out of the hole, and this fire happened, and it kicked me back down, and I had a very, when I lived here, I had a very strong connection with Notre Dame. Not as much going inside, since it became. It really wasn't one of my favorite churches to go, and that's obviously mostly because of the amount of people that would always surround it and go inside and make noise, and for me, church is really a place of silence, of course, and this noise kind of it creates something different. It's not the energy I go to church for. So sometimes, most of the time, I prefer these smaller, less known churches that often hide a lot of mysteries. And usually that's the case, that where people go, there's less to be discovered, really. And the best things always hide where nobody goes, of course. And this is where you can find me. So, but Notre Dame was always a very central place for me, for every visit in Paris and for every day almost in Paris, because I obviously am someone who takes walks almost ritually, and I would always, the first thing to do in Paris was to say hello to Notre Dame, and there were certain paths, certain streets that I would take as my kind of initial walk and my welcome walk in Paris. And not only because it would be later on as well certain habit of mine, certain ritual, and there were certain corners where I would do certain things, and it had I had a very strong personal connection with Notre Dame as a central point of Paris and central point of my Paris. So of course it was heartbreaking. It was absolutely heartbreaking, and even for people that probably didn't expect such a strong reaction to what happened. And anyway, of course, the facade is still standing, which is great, which is really a huge relief. Because that's how most of the people know Notre Dame. That's the main image they have in mind when thinking of Notre Dame, and now it is all the square in front of Notre Dame, in front of the facade, as well as the gardens around it. They're all crossed off, and you can't walk there anymore. And that made me think yesterday that it changed the entire dynamic of the city in a way. Like, I can't walk, I can't do my walks, I can't do my rituals anymore, and a lot of people can't either. That means a bit of less annoying pictures taken in front of Notre Dame, But of course, I'm joking. I mean, it is a bit annoying, but it's not a big deal. But it definitely, it is no longer a thing. It cannot be a thing now because it's all blocked. So that kind of made me think that changes entire organism of the city, because now people can't take the same streets, and they have to find new streets and have new habits and new rituals, and take the picture of Notre Dame from different spot and gather there. So there is that. It's still quite sad. It's still, I tear up a bit walking around there still. And I think some people do as well. I've seen that. So yeah, I can't remember why exactly I started talking about that. I think it's this whole Parisian week that is really different, because I spent so much time in Paris. I used to go on school trips with, I think once or twice I've been here, maybe, I can't remember, but of course it's a different story, and then I very quickly just came here to live here. So it's different. It's a different context. You do different things, and you also have more time to feel the city on your own, and for yourself to discover your own layer on the city. And so when I come just for a visit, it's strange. Maybe I feel like, of course, maybe I wouldn't have the same kind of sense of urgency to visit everything, to see new things, because I have seen so much of it already. So I kind of take it easier, and I know that there are other things that I have to take care of currently. So I try to do the whole slow traveling, and actually being good, and doing some work on the way as well, and not just escaping my duties and blaming the unquenched curiosity, and blaming the fact that I'm in a new place and I have to go and see around everything, and it's my it's my job to go and explore and show everyone what it's like, and now I kind of feel maybe less pressure for that, and also or maybe because I just know how deep and how big Paris is, and how long it takes to really see the things. So I'm thinking like, within a week there's no chance I'll do any of those things. And then of course maybe there were some projects that didn't work out, that I was hoping for. I was hoping to shoot while I'm here, to actually do a little bit of modeling, but that didn't work out. I guess I was a bit late. I tend to sometimes not plan everything to the hour, because it makes me feel like it doesn't leave too much space for my own time and spontaneity, and my walks, my spontaneous walks. And that depends on the weather. If it's sufficiently gloomy, then I go to the cemetery. I don't want to waste a gloomy day for the indoors activities, for example, indoor activities. So and then the whole for example, being social part. I don't like, if I go somewhere, I also don't. I see how I feel, so I go with the feeling. And I don't want to know that I go somewhere and I have the entire week filled with social, meetings, because I need a lot of time for myself, and to kind of be present on my own by myself. So all that kind of. Also, it's been sunny all week, so that's just unacceptable. Completely ruined my idea of gloomy Paris. So I've been hiding half of a day, and then just kind of trying to chase the sunset in the evening. So this week has gone by really quickly, and now it's time to go tomorrow to explore new places. But I have to come back. I always have to come back to Paris, always, and there's still so much I want to film and take pictures of and explore, and and people to see, projects to realize, and a lot of things. Paris is a very inspiring, for the lack of a better word, place, and will always be close to my heart. I wonder if there is anything else I wanted to add to that. There's always something. I'm still happy. I don't feel like this week has been wasted. It's just, things sometimes take as long as they take, and not everything goes according to the schedule. Sometimes there is no schedule. So that's Paris. I'll see you later.